The Path of the Sun by Phra Ajahn Yantra Amaro. Salutation. The 14th of October has come to mark the birthday of Phra Ajahn Yantra Amaro, whose name and merit are trumpets of sacred invocation. Let your pupils bow down at your feet, all for love and for gratitude, with hearts beaming in harmonious salutation. Namo, Namo, I bow, paying obeisance to the Lord Buddha, the omniscient, the perfectly enlightened, whose worth is in the heart pure and free from the wheels of rebirth. Thus I bow, paying obeisance to the Dhamma, the noble truths that guide one to the planes, supramundane and nibbana. Thus I bow, paying obeisance to the Sangha, the followers of the Lord Buddha, the perfect saints who trace the noble path, whose deeds set examples, and whose works call for supports of excellence for the continuity of Dhamma practice. Namo, I bow to father and mother who fed and cared with love's breast and life's conditions. Father's seed I recall, nourished withal within the womb, the fruit of mother, me so small. The cord umbilical that was once used to seat my life must now be wrought, for buried it was under the ground in growth, leaving my body diffused with mother's blood engrossed. The amniotic fluid I once upheld above my head impressed within me the kindness my mother spread, from the day I was born, and hence to the day I shall be on my deathbed laid. Love and gratefulness I shall never forget, from the awakening of my memory until the day I grow up late. Let me hereby engrave my father and mother's worth. Above my head I worship them, like a growth of Bodhi tree. Being a shade of protection, they rendered life secure and good for me, also for the world. Developing mindfulness of Buddha. The practice of mindfulness of Buddha is suitable for all kinds of mental tendencies and for all occasions. Some monks use only this method. You start out by reciting to yourselves the word Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Let your heart bow down in humble contemplation of the Lord Buddha's perfections. Contemplate, contemplate, until you see your own condition. Then your heart can rest in peace and sublimity. Then you may turn to observe Dhamma Absolute, the absoluteness of Buddha, the selflessness that is the true nature of Buddha. The meaning of Buddha is absence of defilements. In the beginning you may make use of verbal concentration. This is called parikarma, meaning to develop the full, to make it perfect. Pari means well-rounded, karma means to act. Observe as you are confronting contacts. Observe as your eyes are open up to the sights, while your mind is whispering, Bhutto, and while your heart is in the know of things around. Now even if you close your eyes, your ears, your mouth, still you can distinctly see within, withal. Still you can retain absorption in peace supreme until you are dawned with a mental image and also with an image conceptual. Recitation is for the purpose of keeping alert, building up the concentration that can impress upon the heart the image the eyes perceive. Then you may learn to contemplate release. Contemplate until you understand the various conditioning factors of life. See them thoroughly with the inner eyes. This is the absorption state of conceptualized image. For instance, when we recite the word Bhutto, Bhutto, the heart will be focused on the word Bhutto. Also, you may recollect the innumerable benefactions of Buddha. By the way of focusing on a Buddha image, bow down with your heart in submission in order to see him while inwardly whispering Bhutto. In the beginning, do not delve in too hard for introspection, because the heart is not completely set in meditative mood. The heart thus unstable cannot be the seat of wisdom. Therefore, work at concentration and mindfulness so that they will be firm and strong. Then wisdom won't be far behind. Learn to retain calm. When you become calm after meditating on a sense object, try to retain it. For example, when you mentally note Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto within. All right, you don't have to count the breaths. You can be mindful only of Bhutto until your concentration becomes one-pointed. You can look deeply inside in the heart. Once your concentration is one-pointed and your heart is calm, the word Bhutto is automatically left out. Here the heart becomes lightened by the knowing faculty. Bhutto means the knower, the awakened, the joyful. The heart is then the knower, the awakened, the joyful. The verbal recitation, which is just a factor or an instrument of concentration, can be left out. The mind that still repeats the verbal formula is not yet free. It is still dependent, of course, on the formula. The longer one sets one's mind free from clinging, the longer the heart will be at peace with all. This is what is meant by being mindful and aware of the body and the mind. When sitting, know that you are sitting. Know the conditioning factors both outside and inside. The calmer you are, the less you go through mental flurries and various mental formations. You become one with Bhutto. That is what is meant by retaining calm. However, there is another type of meditation, which is not just mere absorption with a particular sense object. It is the type of meditation that is being used for doing something else, yet with underlying one-pointedness inside. This is called meditation for work. Here you can work with awareness, steadiness, and calm. Try to retain the power of knowing with eyes closed and also with eyes open. Then observe whether the mind is moved from its base. Sometimes when we open our eyes, our concentration is moved. It may stray after a visual image. Yes, when we see an object, we might forget ourselves and forget to take the object. It might take time for you to achieve calm, since you are in the habit of getting carried away. You might get excited when confronting a big crowd. It is not that you are afraid, but you might be shaken. If you're this way, you need to practice mindfulness. Keep watch of yourselves. When you become calm, when you reach one-pointedness, both with your eyes closed and with your eyes open, whether you're standing, walking, sitting, or lying down, retain this mental state with all of its clarity and steadfastness, so that you are keen on it, so that it is your pillar of protection. Mindfulness and awareness will rise automatically to watch over your actions, To be aware, you will be your normal behavior. Yes, learn to be aware. Learn self-control. Learn how to handle your feelings with care. When you are keen on these points, you can be calm while performing your duty. You see, we can't stick to one thing all of our life. We still have connections with people and also with work. So we need meditation for all facets of life. In practice, we need to put ourselves to testing. Learn to keep calm while attending to every kind of work. Say while washing dishes, keep calm, don't feel tense. Here, some of you may doubt, how can we retain calm while working? Yes, of course we can. A heart well composed will enhance work well composed. Meditation is quite necessary for work. Meditation can be divided simply. Meditation on one particular sense object and meditation on work. It is important to practice calm while working. Some can be calm only in meditative absorption, yet you need to be calm also when out of absorption, so you need to practice to retain calm in every posture. Contemplating rising and falling. It is very important to contemplate rising and falling so that you can see these conditions both externally and internally. See rising and falling of the body and the mind and the mind of others, also the body and the mind of our own. His body does not belong to him. This body does not belong to us. Contemplate this until the heart is steady and calm, until the heart unbinds its bondage. This thought appears while that thought disappears. That thought appears while this thought disappears. A hot temper rises, then the hot temper is gone. A good temper rises, then the good temper is gone. A hot temper may again arise and gain control over you if you do not take good care of yourselves. It is important to be mindful of the citta, that is, the heart and the mind, and to observe in time what sense object is coming in. One will know and see this for oneself. See the moment of rising, the moment of falling. See the moment of a sense object fades away. Watch the moment it disappears. Here you'll be more alert, more aware. The knower knows, the seer understands. These are the functions of the citta. When the citta is calm and is deep in touch with a phenomenon, you can go on to contemplate how it is subject to change, to suffering, and to selflessness. After we have contemplated the body is no more. There is left the feeling. After we have contemplated the feeling is no more. There is left the citta. After we have contemplated the citta, there is left Dhamma. Contemplate Dhamma in Dhamma then. This is actually contemplating the citta. Contemplate the citta. That is, forming various mental images. Contemplate until you see pure citta. That is free from mental images. The citta that is pure, is absolute. Contemplate until you see the citta in all its clarity. The unoccupied citta is distinct and illuminating. Remember that when your heart is calm, retain it, and then contemplate the elements that condition it. When delight rises, contemplate with delight. When happiness rises, contemplate with happiness. Deep inside, contemplate with one-pointedness as the underlying factor. All right, you continue to contemplate. Contemplate until delight is no more, until happiness is no more. Then there is left only oneness. Only the knower who knows, in the state of calm, in the state of oneness with a sense object, contemplate further, so that your heart becomes deeper and deeper in calm. Retain this state, retain this feeling. If in contemplation you happen to slip from the firm stand, you just remind yourselves to contemplate the nature of impermanence until you grow steady and firm again. Then learn to contemplate the body and the mind internally and also externally until your feelings toward both situations are equal in equanimity. The state of void, the citta that is disposed of to emptiness, until it sees nature of natural elements, until it sees suchness of the phenomena, until there is no more of rising and falling, sees the truth of the elements, thus arriving at the state of void, void of the conceptualization of self. The citta at this moment is eternal. If you can retain this particular state of feeling forever, that is, even outside the meditative posture, you can attain to the life of eternity, the true life. The untrue citta is the citta unquiet. The true citta never dies. Death can only conquer only the formative aspects of the citta. The genuine citta is the knowing faculty. This is immortal. The citta at peace can see void in the physical element and in the mental element. It can see how nature rolls on and on. It can accept change as a natural phenomena, not as ourself. The citta functions only as the knower. What is known is not permanent. The knower simply knows without getting attached. In this way, how can suffering arise? What I'm telling is meant for you to introspect. Use it as a pilot for the navigation of your citta, until your citta finally arrives at the natural point of truth. Once you have reached the state of void, you are said to arrive at the abode of bliss. This is the citta with insight into selflessness and voidness. In other words, when the citta has gained insight into selflessness, it enters the state of void. As you are working your way through the meditative stages, you are learning to contemplate Dhamma. Starting from contemplating the elements, then you contemplate the three characteristics, namely change, suffering, and selflessness. As you conceptualize all phenomena as natural elements, soil, liquid, air, and fire, you won't distinguish living beings as animals, men, and self. The citta is called nibbana, is void, no attachment, no thoughts defiling, no anxiety, no fruits of delusion. Building up confidence. To have good faith means to have confidence. To have reverence means to trust. Our lives need confidence in the triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Our lives need confidence in the principle of the Four Noble Truths. This means we need confidence in Dhamma, the teachings of the Lord Buddha, believing in the way to do good, in giving dana, in observing the precepts in meditation, in having courage to do good at all costs. Sometimes we feel weary, our confidence withers and dies out of our citta. We should then make an effort to pay obeisance to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Sit with a teacher, be near the knowing ones, the wise ones. We may ask ourselves, what are we here for? What are we going to do? Is there anything better we can do? morality for meditation. The foundation of the noble ones is the 5 precepts. If the precepts are not observed properly, meditation cannot develop. You might have a good intention to meditate, but when you come out of it, you do not observe the precepts. You still kill, steal, violate sexual norm, tell lies, and partake of intoxicants. You have no way to accomplish the meditation goal. You might enjoy a certain kind of absorption, but it will easily deteriorate. It won't last long. Therefore, you must observe the precepts regularly. The conduct must be refined. The attitude must also be honest and true. You must observe the precepts with an intention to get rid of your own defilements, not for self-conceit, nor for bragging about. If you are more and more meticulous in observing the precepts, yet being proud, you show contempt of other people who are not as good. You are pitifully illusioned by the precepts. That is not right, for you are only an evil-minded meditator. Peace is power. Mindfulness that is fully charged within the citta gives rise to peace, blissful and gentle, and life full of comfort. It is the generating power that can push our lives in the righteous direction, that can illuminate our passage. It is the power that can rouse, pull, draw, and support all beings. Whenever the citta stops flitting around and turns cool and calm, it is firm, steady, and profound. It is full of potentiality. This is the wonder of one citta that's deeply rooted in Dhamma, that's being mindful, being aware, automatically alert within. The external behaviors, both physical and verbal, will be righteous in accordance with the power of mindfulness and awareness. Love of a Buddha. If you don't know how to love, you'll end up in suffering. Love of a Buddha means giving, helping, and metta. Let us give without claiming to be the giver. Let us give as the fair breeze blows, without getting attached to a leaf on a tree. At the same time, the leaf on the tree receives without feeling sorrow for the passing wind. Let us give without getting attached, yet perform our duty with love and respect. Dhamma means harmony, generosity in all relationships, without bondage illusory. Give genuinely and sincerely. In metta we love, in peace, in bliss, in freedom, in void. Therefore we care not for praise, not for recognition. We see for ourselves, we know for ourselves. The noble wealth. Today you come to make offerings. This means you come to build up noble wealth. The external wealth consists of physical gain, fame, high rank, and praise. The physical gain can bring you happiness and comfort in this world. It is for this lifetime, very short. Yes, it gives you comfort, but it does not necessarily bring you peace of mind. If you do not know the truth of nature, if you do not understand the truth of life, if you do not gain insight into the depth of all phenomena, you will certainly be swayed by loss and gain, by acrimony, delusion, and attachment. You won't be able to find peace of mind. Why do we suffer? Because we don't know how to be dutiful to our citta. We don't know what to do with the citta. If only we know, we won't suffer. If we develop our mindfulness and awareness so that our knowing faculty is fully sharpened, We won't fall prey to the environment. We won't get lost. We won't get trapped in the maze of the material world. Thus, when it's time for us to turn old, get sick and die, we can leave what we have to lose. We can leave our loved ones, sons, daughters, husbands, and wives in peace. If we are still attached to the material world without ever building up the inner noble wealth, without practicing Dhamma, having used up all the wealth we've got without performing any more wholesome deeds, will only meet with mental pain, no inner noble wealth, no spiritual nourishment. The inner noble wealth is the most valuable wealth, higher than all kinds of gain. It can even pave the way for physical gain. Yes, the inner wealth can draw the external wealth. The inner wealth consists of the following factors: confidence in the Dhamma, morality, observance of the moral precepts, moral shame, moral fear, great learning, liberality and wisdom. The inner wealth is the spiritual nourishment for our lives here and hereafter, today and tomorrow, both at present and also in the future. Honesty to Dhamma. An honest person is honest to his own will and aspiration. He does what he promises to himself. Being thus responsible, he arrives at the goal quickly. To be honest to our deeds, to be honest to our goodness, means to act without coveting recognition. Some people want to do good and be good, but cannot succeed. Why? Because they are not honest to their aspirations. They give in to defilements. It's not good just to make a good wish if we do not perform a good deed. Our wish can never be fulfilled. We need to practice to control our action. It might be difficult in the beginning. It might be tiring to make an effort to do good. But after we are able to control our feelings, we can be right on the noble track. A person unable to control himself is useless. Pitiful indeed is he who does not know how to stop, who does not know how to calm down, who does not know how to reflect upon the good cause and the good deed. May you all practice concentrating on a wholesome thought. Practice self-control. Eating. When you are full, stop eating, even if it's delicious. Sleeping. When you wake up, get up right away. Don't cling to your bed. We usually wake up and then fall asleep again. The heart is too weak to be resolute. You should learn to overcome small obstructions. The more you succeed, the stronger you'll be. Speaking. Speak what is useful and essential. Speak moderately. When you speak too much, you encourage too much restless thought. Think before you utter each word, but do not utter each word you think. Know when to keep quiet. This is the Bodhisattva's Dhamma. When you need to respond, think carefully. Say only the essential. Better to keep quiet when things are not apt to speak. Cautiousness in speech can take you to heaven and nibbana. Unbridled speech can take people to hell. Both the listeners and the speaker. Unwholesome words can taint one's heart and mind. Loving kindness. Learn to understand other people. Learn to understand the whole world. Don't expect the world to understand us. In this way, we can comfortably live in the world. Try to understand ourselves, look at ourselves, correct ourselves, get rid of our mistakes. Of course, it's difficult to teach ourselves, difficult to reprimand ourselves, because we tend to justify our own defilements. How do we manage ourselves? Know ourselves and do make ourselves perform our duties in accordance with the law of nature. watch and see. Watch and see the physical and the mental, the body and the mind of ours. Try to understand each contact. Every contact is the foundation of all truths. Look and investigate here, now. Look and see. Good and bad. One who hates the bad and loves the good is also bad, because hatred is the brother of anger. Hatred is a defilement. If we hate often and smolder more and more with discontent, we'll burst into anger. Contemplate until it is clear to you that anger burns your heart, that it causes such a suffering within. The point is, we suffer because we swing between content and discontent. What we like, we clutch to our hearts. What we dislike, we brush aside. If we still dislike what is bad and like what is good, we should teach ourselves that a person is bad because his mind is clouded with illusion. We should not dislike the person. A person is good because he is wise. We should not be attached to good. We are attached to somebody else's good just because we are not good enough. Now, if we are good and are attached to our own good, thinking, I am good, I am better than he is better than I, therefore I am disgusted, and so on. This is rivalry, and so it is not good. Sometimes when we are attached to somebody else's good, we'll be offended when that person is criticized. For example, when we are attached to our teacher, we'll be offended when our teacher is criticized. Actually, criticism is common. Trust in the law of karma. Let's have trust in our own good deed, even if it might take time to reap its good harvest, even if no one gives us sympathy, even if no one gives credit to us. Good deed is good in itself. Good or bad does not depend on anybody, but on ourselves, the doer of the deed. If we do bad, think bad, speak bad, we're stuck with bad. For example, if we smolder with anger and jealousy, if we're weighed down with anxiety and various sense objects, we'll suffer from our own doing. No one puts a label on us, yet we suffer and are burned inside already. Curing anger. Many people don't want to be angry because they know that anger brings suffering, yet they can't help it. Why? Because we have let defilements have their way for a very long time. We have not learned the subtle way to build up mindfulness. How can we cure anger? All right, when anger rises, tell ourselves, don't be angry. Mindfulness come. But anger might still be there if we're not subtle enough. Some book says, radiate your loving kindness. Well, how can we do it? We're still angry. We can't possibly radiate loving kindness in anger. What should we do is set up mindfulness. Be mindful, be aware of what we are moment by moment until our heart becomes calm spontaneously. When the heart is calm, we can eventually see people as friends in suffering, in birth, old age, sickness, and death. All creatures are subject to their own deeds, so let us forgive. If we are wrong, contemplate our wrongdoing and then correct ourselves. It's good if someone points it out to us. If somebody else is wrong because of his carelessness and so on, we should be ready to contemplate loving kindness, then forgive. Don't be offended. Forgive him and try to understand him. His heart and his mind must have been clouded with delusion. No one is bad from the start. If we are offended by a madman or argue with a drunkard, we must be more drunk than he is. A subtle way to fight Mara, or evil. Sensual lust and unwholesomeness develop from our own thought and mental formation. If we stop thinking, they'll cease to develop. When heated passion rises, don't look outside, try to watch inside. Defilements have a variety of seductive approaches, so we need to look inward, look at the citta. When sensual lust arises, watch the citta. When anger arises, watch the citta. Subtly use mindfulness to keep control of the present moment. Use mindfulness as a controlling factor by keeping a quiet watch of ourselves. With development of stability and equanimity, those feelings will diminish and fade away, because defilements are also mental formations. See to it that they are gone, gone, gone. As defilements arise and then is gone, rises and gone. Fight Mara off this way. The subtlety is in the use of mindfulness and awareness. Mantra for the cessation of suffering. When we gain, be prepared for loss. When we have, be prepared for no more. When we acquire something, repeat this mantra, rising, standing, and falling. Before having is not having. Before being is not being. Before gaining is not gaining. Before binding is not binding. Nothing binds us except our own thought. If we know how to think, we won't suffer. If we don't know how to think, we suffer. No one can afflict us. No one can destroy us. No one can kill us, except our own unwholesome view. No one can save us, except our own right view. Be mindful while working. How can we be mindful while working? Be conscious of what we are doing. Have a wholesome thought and be genuinely interested in the work. Always keep mind in that. This work is for the welfare of other people, not for our own egoistic use. Don't do things for the sake of personal gain. Let us work for the benefit and well-being of others. Try to get rid of our selfishness as much as we can. If other people are selfish and are rude to us, never mind. If we are not selfish, we are good in ourselves. If we have to work with a selfish person, we have to use our best effort to perform our duty. Do not be offended by the other person's neglect. When we are trying to refrain from an unwholesome action, we should not be offended. If the other people don't do the same, it's good for us to be self-restraint. It is stupid to turn our eyes on other people's wrong. Know what is wrong and know what is right. Then embrace what is right within our heart without turning our eyes viciously on other people. If we are vicious in our outlook, our own inner defilements will flourish. Restlessness gives rise to unwholesomeness. Without mindfulness and awareness, our lives will become worthless indeed. Nothing is more pitiful than a time wasted for nothing. The most essential thing in life is mindfulness and awareness, for these give rise to wisdom. Life's work. When we are in the habit of keeping vigil and always within the bound of precepts, will easily attain calm. That which readily gives rise to hindrances is negligence and the breach of moral code of conduct. When we do not control our senses, either intentionally or unintentionally, knowingly or unknowingly, we are forming a bad habit. We need to practice self-restraint to win over the defiling self. Try to concentrate and be mindful of the citta until you experience calm. Watch the state of calm closely. You understand its value. You experience the kind of happiness that is blissful, the heart at peace, full of wholesomeness, loving kindness and bliss. We'll channel our actions and our speeches into the ground of noble righteousness. At the same time, our physical body will be adjusted and balanced. The work thereof will prove to be of higher efficiency. Vishaka Sermon. Venerable Sirs, dear devotees, I am happy to see you here for the Vishaka celebration. This is a special occasion in which we all can join in wholesomeness of action. My English may not be clear, yet I hope you can understand my message from your feelings, from your senses. Through calm you can contemplate, you can see, you can understand clearer and better. Today we have a lot of problems in the mind. We suffer, so try to let us learn Dhamma. Try to turn to look at ourselves, look inside. We can then understand our lives better. We can see the way. We can know how to release ourselves. We can know what to do and how to do it. Dhamma is nature. Dhamma is all in nature. Dhamma is the conditions of nature, the law of nature. Dhamma is responsibility, the duty to perform righteously and congenial to nature. Dhamma is the result of the performance of duty. What is the law of nature? That all things rise and fall. This is the law. Life is born, life is ill, life is old, then life is gone. We stay in the world for only a short time, very short, in comparison with the age of the universe. Our life is also very small in comparison to the size of the universe. We are but a little dust. Everything of the world is impermanent, unstable, and not of ourself. If we learn to do the right thing, we can be happy. First, learn to accept the law. Then, for whatever that rises and falls, we should learn to let go. That is the way to release ourselves. Also, learn to act virtuously, keep calm, and develop mindfulness, loving kindness, and wisdom. This is the basis of great knowledge of the law of nature. This is the basis of action that is free from problems, and this is also the basis of life, free from defilements. Stay in the middle between greed and hatred, love and anger. We can experience a feeling of voidness. We can have equanimity. Happiness is not the same as peace. Peace is above happiness. Most people have happiness with illusion, with materials. Materials are not permanent, they change. Our bodies and things around us are changed. They keep changing all the time. If you feel attached to your body, your girlfriend, boyfriend, and things, you'll certainly suffer. When they turn away, when they get lost, you'll become upset, you'll be sad. In fact, things just pass by our lives, so let go when they are gone. Let go each moment. Things pass by every moment. Things are gone every moment. One day we'll have to leave this body. You'll have to leave your wife, your husband, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, and everything. We are borrowing things from nature. They are just with us temporarily. Indeed, for just a short time. Nature gives this body, then nature takes it back. After death we go empty-handed. Have you found a good refuge in your mind, in your life? Material is not a refuge, it is for use only temporarily, whereas Dhamma can stay with you for good. Dhamma means calm, peace, and happiness. Also, if we have right responsibility, it means we have Dhamma. We are responsible to help people, yet if we help people, we should help without attachment. Don't attach too much to your children or to your husband, your wife. They do not belong to you. They are only supposed to be yours, not really yours. The body is neither your body. It belongs to nature. If it belongs to you, you must be able to say, don't get old, don't get ill, don't die. But we cannot control it. We only know how to control some parts, sometime. We cannot fully control people and things. What you should control is your mind. Everything comes from mind, to be happy or not happy, to suffer or not to suffer. All depends on our mind. We can overcome all sufferings if we have right mindfulness, perfect mindfulness. Try to develop mindfulness. With mindfulness, we can do things well. We can have peace and real happiness. The most important thing in Dhamma is mindfulness. Lord Buddha had a lot of practice in mindfulness before he attained enlightenment. Be mindful and keep a little smile within your heart always. Strengthen your effort in the practice of mindfulness, for then you'll be calm. If you feel sleepy, open your eyes, take a deep breath. In learning to control your mind, you'll be able to get rid of problems. In this way, you can be a good follower of the Buddha. You can stay close to the Lord Buddha, follow him, look inward, pay attention to your mind, keep your mind within your body. You should think, each life wants peace and happiness in the same way as you do. You should think every life is your life. You should develop more of loving kindness and wisdom. When you have a good mind and loving kindness, you find yourself wholesome, meritorious. Together with wisdom, you'll have real peace and happiness. Feel happy and enjoy helping others, helping with sacrifice. Be diligent and do good deeds. What are good deeds? You know well. Don't harm others. Follow the precepts. In wholesomeness, you feel calm within your mind. When your heart is wholesome and kind, the precepts come out naturally through your action. You won't kill, you won't cheat, you won't tell a lie. You cannot do wrong in morality. You cannot hurt your family. You won't commit adultery. The husband is honest to his wife. The wife is honest to her husband. In wholesomeness, you cannot take intoxicants. When we have perfect calmness, we'll know the way to do good. We'll know what is good and know what is not good. We will not give in to temptation. Then we should learn to contemplate the mechanism of the mind. For example, we'll observe how greed gets hold of our mind. We'll learn how problem arises, and how to control it with our mindfulness. If we cannot control it, the problem can go wild. This is the problem of the world, that is, if people cannot control the problem of their own mind, that problem cannot become the problem of the world. Religion teaches the way to control the problem of the mind. It teaches the way of nature. Yet most people now have lost the natural way of life. Man has lost nature. Most go for money and material prosperity, so they cannot find real peace and happiness. Actually, if we have a lot of wealth, we should learn to give away. We should make sacrifices. We should help with loving kindness each time we give with a pure mind. We'll be happy, so give voluntarily. Give without asking for reward. Give without expecting anything in return. With more and more loving kindness, we'll gain more and more confidence in goodness, in the wholesome action, and also in loving kindness itself. We'll have a good life, better in everything, plus peace and happiness, more and more. If problems or obstacles from outside come into our life, we should confront them. Don't worry too much. Don't be afraid of them. It happens not only to you, but to all. We should study the problems. They'll give us a good lesson. Without obstacles, you cannot develop your merit. Without obstacles, you cannot develop your wisdom. We call the obstacles Mara. Without obstacles, we cannot grow up in wisdom. Without obstacles, we cannot develop merit. Obstacles are our test. Obstacles, outside or inside, are good objects for learning. I think there are more obstacles from our mind than there are from the outside. Defilements, greed, hatred, delusion, these are the obstacles from our own mind. If we can cope with the inner obstacles, outside obstacles are no problems. After enlightenment, the Lord Buddha preached the way. You too can be enlightened when you have good mind, when you are calm, when you have a good concentration, mindfulness, and wisdom. You also have a lot of energy to give and to help other people in the same way as the Lord Buddha did. We should spend more time on our mind than on our body. We should be careful with our mind everywhere. We should be careful with every action. When you are happy with worldly possession, you tend to forget yourself. Thus delusion overclouds your mind. Here is the reason why you suffer. You should learn the worldly conditions. You should learn both happiness or unhappiness, so that you can be free from happiness and unhappiness under the worldly conditions. You then become a wise man. A religious routine. We all should have a religious routine every morning and every evening. After getting up, we should pay respect to the Lord Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. They are our master and our parents. The thought of our generosity, goodness, and wholesomeness will help to keep ourselves calm. Absorb the good things into our mind. Think of the loving kindness of the Lord Buddha. Absorb it into our mind. Be absorbed in virtues and take deep breaths. Then be aware of our breathing. Also keep a little smile within our heart. Yet sit in a comfortable position. Don't think of other things. Try to focus on the breathing. You may observe the breathing at your nostrils. Be aware of breathing in, and be aware of breathing the breathing out. Not very long you'll be calm. Then you can make aspirations in your mind. You may, for example, aspire to extend loving kindness to all beings, to the world in all directions, just like the Lord Buddha extending loving kindness to you, to us, to all. We can imagine, we can think that the Lord Buddha is giving blessings to us. Take a deep breath. Be aware of the breathing in and the breathing out, while mentally repeating the word Bhutto in tune with the breathing. You may practice this breathing exercise for 15 minutes or for half an hour. We should then think that everything we'll do today must be good. We must do our best. When evening comes, we'll practice the breathing exercise again. We should also review and evaluate the deeds we have done the whole day. If there is anything wrong, we should resolve to improve ourselves. Nonetheless, don't feel guilty too much. Don't worry about the past or the future. The past is gone. The present is the most important thing. Accept what is wrong, then try to control ourselves. Next time, try to stop the wrong speech, the wrong action, the wrong thought. They make us unhappy, you see, and the wrong way is unclean. The wrong way makes our mind unclear. If we are endowed with knowing, awakening, and bliss, which result from the practice of mindfulness, awareness, and wisdom, we will act appropriately in regard to whatever we are concerned with, avoiding causing trouble with our own mind. The mind will be filled with calm and wisdom, for it sees all things as suchness. Thus we will really be called the one who practices Dhamma. Dhamma is not to be found in pomp, luxury, splendor, or convenience, but Dhamma will clearly unfold itself by wise contemplation at the right time when we are in trouble or suffering. So difficulties give us Dhamma, and poverty teaches us some lessons. Suffering can strengthen us to be good and heedful, whereas happiness can seduce us to be heedless and careless. Actually, now I have almost nothing to teach you, for you have learnt a lot already on the way up here. You learnt Dhamma already as you were climbing up this mountain. Nevertheless, you were still determined to come here. So, with your strong intention and hope, you were satisfied with each step. Finally, you arrived. It means that when we really wish to do something, even though it may be so very hard, so much trouble, we are able to bear and deal with such trouble. So let us keep on trying. The Dhamma teaching of the Buddha is to face life with calm, repose, firmness, and self-reliance. Whatever happens, contemplate it carefully. We should have a standpoint, which means we should have mindfulness and awareness to look after the mind so that it will remain good and calm. Always set the mind in good cheer and nurture it with wholesome thoughts, thoughts of helping and benefiting both ourselves and others. Whatever we do, it must be in order to cultivate purity, wisdom, and peace within us as much as possible. Also, we should learn to detach from our concerns. The Buddha taught us to do good with patience, persistence, and also detachment, and to perceive all matters as normality. Sugar may dissolve in water, and wax may melt in strong sunlight, but we are neither sugar nor wax. We can endure all kinds of hard conditions. We can train ourselves to be strong, firm, and ready to encounter the reality of all phenomena. We can be strong in both physical and mental health. The practice by which we try to control ourselves, to calm, to free, to purify, and to brighten the mind, and to solve all problems in the moment of difficulty, is called the practice of Dhamma. Some people, upon meeting with sufferings, are distressed. This is due to emotions, but the wise, being aware of all sufferings, confront and mindfully watch them with calm repose. They don't cling even to happiness, welcoming both joy and distress. This is similar to a tree which welcomes all seasons, hot in summer, wet in the rainy season, and cold in the winter. It never complains. If it cannot withstand the harsh conditions, it will shed its leaves to bud again in the rainy season. It welcomes all coming seasons, grows dependent upon conditions, buds, branches, flowers, and fruits. Often it enjoys the bright sunlight and